Hello, I'm Bliznub, and welcome to Stage 3 of the Jordas Verdict. Now, this is by far the hardest stage, and it's where most people fall short, but bear in mind, this is because it is still in beta and is currently buggy. This is not actually that difficult, and hopefully this step-by-step guide will guide you through it. Now, the first thing we have to do, as you can see here, is what I will continue to refer to as space football. You get the infested spore and guide it into a weak point, which is at the top of Jordas, and he has buttons on either side of his head, which you can see here are opening up the weak point. Unfortunately, this isn't a terribly good demonstration because the weak point sort of closes, but it still goes through, and we can see Golem engines at 0% charge. That's what you want to see, and at this point you fly straight down and through into Jordas. And I'm going to fast forward through this bit, because basically this tunnel is easy, and so long as you don't lose your shields, you go through fairly quickly. The second and third tunnels are a bit more difficult, but unless you lose your shields, it's not that difficult. Now, the first thing you need to do is the first trinity inside absolutely has to bless. If you don't have a trinity leading the pack, you need people dropping shield restores as you fly in. Okay, so the first step is to go down the tunnel, which you can see here. One person has to go down this tunnel and hack a console whilst someone else powers the console. Now you run through here, and sorry for the frame drops. I'll be putting up a better recording later. And you power this vape under the floor, and you can see the person hacking above you. And they will hack, and that will open the door, allowing them to get back to you. And then they need to hack the console on the other half of the room, which they can't get to until the door is open. So you can see I just pop in here because the hacker died, but it's fine because that allowed me to get a couple of boxes to repower the vape. So once this vape in the floor is done, you're pretty much done with it. You don't need it for anything else. So you power it once more and then hack this console. This is going to be a bit of a long walkthrough, I'm afraid, as unfortunately I only have a couple of good recordings of it. So yeah, but just bear with me for this one. So when that console's hacked, this flower will become usable. We're going to continue to call them flowers rather than tentacles or esophagus. And you hit X on that flower once that console's hacked, and it will spit you out in here. And the first thing you want to do is turn left and shoot that barrel. It will break the glass and enable other people to get to you. Now, I've come back here after that skip with a couple extra players, and what needs to be done is one person has to take the next flower, which is, I believe, permanently on, to get inside and power the vape inside the little glass box. And we have 2 locked doors and 2 consoles, a very familiar scenario. This vape only allows you to hack the right console and open the right door, but to power the left console, you have to go down a little tunnel at the back of this room, which hopefully I should show just there. It's just behind that flower, actually, and you go down that tunnel and you find a vape, which someone has kindly activated there, so we can hack the left door. Sorry. Now, in each of these rooms, there are 2 buttons, and if they are pressed simultaneously, it will unlock a door to the first nerve. You can see those buttons just pressed, and the door's open. And there's the nerve. Now I just skipped ahead, but in the large room, the first room that you come across when you get into the Jordas Golem, there is a vape, and that has to be fully powered to attack this nerve. It was a little buggy on this in this playthrough, but there it is. And when that happens, or when the engines hit 100%, you will need there will be a purge, and anyone inside the Jordas Golem will die at that time. Now, I get bugged out here, so I have a moment to talk. It's important to say that when people are inside, at least 2 people should stay outside and continue putting spores into Jordas' weak point. The weak point will stay open whilst the engines are charging. Okay, so like I say, I bugged out because I was inside an esophage when the purge occurred, but you cannot rely on that bug, and I'm sure DE will fix it soon enough. It should kick you back out into space. You cannot revive if the purge... you cannot be revived if the purge spawns you, but you can revive. So it's a bit of a shame and you'll waste a life. But anyhow, let's move on to the second nerve. Now the first thing you want to do is head to the other half of the main room on the ground floor and power the vape inside that box. That will allow you to hack the console right next to it, which will allow you to take another flower, which is right behind you when you're hacking the console. You just turn around and hopefully notice it. There we go. And there's the flower, and that takes you into this little room behind the glass here. Now, as usual, first thing you do, shoot the box, break the glass so that you can get out at will. Now, there's a button in that room and a button right next to the console that was hacked. And if they're both pressed at the same time, whilst the console is hacked and and the vape is fully powered to allow you to hack the console, a door will open, which I rushed past a bit there, and you get up to here. Again, first thing you do, break the barrel, power the vape, and hack the console. Now what this does is moves the vape that you've just used down on the floor below into a better position, which allows you to access the second nerve, or rather access the door, blocking you. So, as you can see, I dropped down, and it's going to be a little bit of a cut here. Again, I'm sorry, there will be a better recording uploaded later, but moving on. So, what you need to do now is power the vape in the box you've just moved, and you can hack this door, which it is right next to. Now, that vape should be fairly obvious, it's just at the top of the big room now. And you go through this door, and you're into the second nerve area. Now, before we go any further, I need to say there is a flower or an esophage in this room. Do not take it. Do not take it at all until the vaporizer has moved. And you'll understand what I mean in a moment. But there's a vaporizer on a rail here, and what you want to do is power that to allow you to hack the console next to it. And that will move the vape on the rail to the far end, which you can see here. Now, this can take 3 boxes. Once you put all 3 boxes into that vape, it will allow a flower in the other room to be active, because you have to power both ends to move from one flower to another. Should be known. Now you come in here and you get people to stand on these 2 buttons. Yes, it is a 3-man job. This vape will come up out of the floor, and if you see in a second, the esophage actually grabs the vape and takes it through into the room with the nerve. Now, going back, we need to repower the one on the rails and move it back into its other position. You have to fully power it to move it on the rails. And then we can take the esophage, which just took the vape, into the other room, which I don't actually manage here, but one of my squad mates does. And there's a door in there which can be unlocked. Now, once you're in this room, it's really simple. You just fully power the vape in there, and the nerve is vulnerable. Again, I should point out that sometimes it's a bit buggy client-side, and you can actually shoot the nerve and it will appear destroyed but won't be. But the moment it is destroyed, it will start to purge and everyone has to leave as quickly as they can or they will die. There is a slightly quicker way to get out, but I got out just fine here. So, we're past the hard part, we really are. And unfortunately I didn't get to show up because I was bugged out after the first nerve. But between nerves, you have to destroy the golem's engines. You just shoot the engines until you start popping zeros on them. He will fly around and generally be annoying. But once he is docked back up, you do the same thing again. You repeat the process, fly through the tunnel. And this one's a bit longer, and seriously, if you can get a Trinity inside, lovely. But otherwise, you're going to have someone drop shield restores whilst you're still flying through the tunnel. So, we're in, again, and this is the 3rd nerve. So, the vape in the crate, which is in the middle of this room, needs to be fully powered, as does the vape we used to destroy the first nerve, which I just stood on there. And that allows you to take this flower, which is right next to that vape, in the middle of the main room, and it will take you into this crate. Now, you drop down the floor, and you just sort of follow your nose. But there is a vaporizer down here that is normally covered by infested growth. And I'm not actually sure where we skip this step, but there is another vaporizer which has to cover that vape. Anyhow, but once that vape is available, you fully power it, and that allows you to hack this door up above, which opens this little blast door next to us. And you go through, and we are really drawing to the end here, thank goodness. and we get up into this area. Now, I'm slowing it down here. There is an exploding barrel here that you need to destroy to allow your friends to get in and open the door next to you. Because you cannot get out of here anyway apart from through this door. So, as you can see, one of my squad mates notices where we are, which is sort of in the main room. There is a little platform you can jump up onto behind the vape in the crate. And so we slide through the door and we get to this area with 2 buttons. Now this area, as far as I'm aware, no one actually knows how to do this, but I'll bear with you. You open this door and there are green barriers blocking you. So it is believed that when the door starts to close, those green barriers disappear. And so if you actually jump off the rightmost button, you can jump up through the door as it's closing. We don't actually know. I suspect there's probably a way to turn the green barrier off before you jump through it, but we didn't find that on this run, I'm afraid. So you jump up through, and you can turn off the green barriers on the far side of that. And that's it. You're in the 3rd nerve room. There is a vaporizer right there, so tell your squad to get ready to run, power the vape, and blow this thing to kingdom come. And that's it. You're done. It really is that simple, and it takes about 10 minutes in all if you have a good squad, assuming that you manage to do the tunnels to get into Jordas on the first try. As always, the purge is only 15 seconds, so you need to run like hell once that goes off, and go out and finish off Jordas by wailing on its engines. So, that's it. This is the Jordas verdict. It's a little buggy right now. It's a little buggy, but the only game-breaking bug I can see so far is that if you take the esophage into the 2nd nerve room before the vape goes through, it cannot be completed. The vape will never go through. So you have to let that go through first. But that's really it. I mean, that's all I've got. We are done here. Now, the Jordas verdict does, of course, give some fantastic new arcanes and a delightful, shiny-looking medal. And, yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. I hope this guide has been of use. I'll try to upload something a bit better quality, hopefully with a few less frame skips later. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I'm Bliznub, and this is the Jordas verdict. If you missed parts 1 and 2, links will be in the description or at the end of this video. Thank you for watching.